Good morning and welcome to Trail Grazers, where we focus on good food on the trail and also on our road trips and trail trips and the things that we do away from home to have some adventure in our lives. And so today we are going to focus on something that I'm pretty excited about, and it has to do with good food on the trail. I always keep my eyes open for new ideas for food that we can do that is simple and easy and nutritious, that we can take without fuss or mess on the trail with us. And today we're going to do just that. I am just now discovering at my late age the versatility of waffles and how great waffles are as, first of all, a food storage food, because almost all of the ingredients you can have right in your food storage, and then how versatile waffles have become. In my day earlier, waffles were just a breakfast meal, but oh my gosh, the variety of waffles that are out there on the internet, YouTube people doing all kinds of different things. Waffles are now used for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're sweet, they're savory, they're dessert. And so I'm going to start tapping into some of that because they are very, very handy. Now, the first thing that we tried, well, first of all, let me tell you the story of my waffle iron. I threw it away about 3 weeks ago. I just got so tired of it. It was one of those little round 7-inch Belgian waffle makers that I've had for 30 years. And the middle always came out burned and the edges were barely done. And so I rarely used it. Once in a while I would say, well, I wonder if it's healed itself. Well, it never did. So I just tossed it and did some research, did a lot of reading, and I have just purchased this Calphalon ceramic after purchasing an All-Clad an All-Clad is a top brand, and I was so disappointed in it. It didn't cook evenly, and there were a whole lot of things that I didn't like about it, so I sent it back, and I got this little Calphalon, and oh my gosh, I love it. It is ceramic. The plates are ceramic, and even the outside edge. Now I don't like waffle dough bubbling out and running down the waffle iron. I hate that because it's such a mess to clean up, and it's happened to me all my life. Well, the first several times I used the waffle iron, none of that happened because they tell you exactly how much batter you need to put in and it works. But with what we're going to be doing today, I get some bubble overs, and I thought, oh no. But the outside is also, nothing sticks to it. It just wipes right off, wipes clean. So it's fantastic. It's a little pricey, but I just thought if I'm going to be doing a lot with waffles, I want something that I can really love. And boy, this is it. This is what we are going to make today. These are ham and cheese waffles. It's like a little sandwich, only it looks like a waffle. And this, see the beautiful color? This waffle iron just makes fantastic. But there's a slice of ham and 2 slices of cheese on the inside of this, like a little sandwich, and it's all enclosed. And I put chives in the batter. We have beautiful chives growing out in our herb garden. That's about the only thing that's growing out there right now. And so I put chives in the batter to make the batter a little bit more savory. And these are just great, and they freeze well. I'm going to get this one back in the freezer, and I'm going to package them in 1s and in 2s, so that when Jim and I decide at the last minute that we want to just take off and go someplace, I can grab a 1 package and a double package, 2 for him, 1 for me, and we can just put these in the car. They'll thaw, and by lunchtime they'll be ready to eat. They can be eaten warm or cold. And Jim has had the best time figuring out sauces that he wants to put over the top when we're at home and eat these, and they're on a plate. And Jim, what was you wanted ranch dressing with a little Worcestershire sauce,
yeah,
and
a little L&P.
A little L&P and honey.
Yes, and honey.
And so a little savory sauce that he's inventing. So anyway, I'm going to put this back in the freezer and we're going to get going. I have been trying different waffle recipes, and my sister Cindy just sent me hers. That is from the 1973 Betty Crocker cookbook, and it is perfect. And so I'll be giving that to you in the description of the video. Will be Betty Crocker 1973 recipe for enriched waffles. So what I have in this bowl already, enough of this buttermilk powder to make 1.5 cups of buttermilk. I have not added the water yet, but as we learned with our cream cheese, I could never reconstitute buttermilk. It was always grainy, but not with boiling water. That's our new trick. I'm using that for all my dairy freeze-dried things, for yogurt and for sour cream, and it's just working perfectly. So I'm using, because I don't usually stock buttermilk in my refrigerator, I'm using my buttermilk powder. And so in here, in this bowl, I have that buttermilk powder, and or you can use regular buttermilk. And then I also have 1.5 cups, 1.25 cups of flour. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of soda. And then I'm just going to mix these dry ingredients. And I'm just then going to add my chives. I just snipped those chives. That's a couple of tablespoons of chives. Kind of cover them with flour so they don't sink. Then I need the wet ingredients. Now, it calls for 1.5 cups of buttermilk. The powder's already in there, so I'm going to get 1.5 cups of water. And I don't need to worry about boiling water this time because I've mixed the powder with the dry ingredients. The dough will be wet, and then it's going in a hot waffle iron. So those little fat globules are going to be melted just fine. So then I'm just going to drop 3 eggs in here as well. I wish that I could crack eggs in that beautiful way that so many people online can do. They make it look artistic. And then it is very artistic, you're right. So I'm just going to beat these up with the water. And then I'm going to add, along with this liquid, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of melted shortening. You can use shortening, you can use oil, I've used melted ghee before, pretty much just any fat. And then we're going to stir this up. Now the batter for doing this needs to be quite thin. And when I did it earlier in the week, I thinned it down with a little bit of water, so we'll see what it looks like now. Yeah, it's going to need just a little bit more thinning. You'll see why when we get going on this. Now, if we were just doing regular waffles, this consistency would be just fine, but I need it just a little bit more runny. So I'm adding about a couple of tablespoons more water. Oh, I'm going to turn the waffle iron on. And I'm moving it to the second from the end. No, I'm going to put it right straight up. So it's right in the middle in terms of brownness. It says that it is preheating, and it will let me know when we are ready to put the batter in. So here are some of the things that I learned in my first trial, which was really messy. And it may take you one time to be familiar with how your waffle iron is going to treat this procedure. So it takes 1/2 cup of batter for each side of this waffle iron so that it doesn't run over the edges. Well, when I'm putting a piece of ham and a couple of pieces of cheese on top, that of course takes up some of the space that the dough would, so I'm using a scant 1/4 cup. And I am pouring it on the bottom, and it needs to run in all the little channels and grooves. Then I'm going to put a 1/2 slice of cheese, a piece of ham, and a 1/2 slice of cheese, and then a scant cup of batter on the top of that. And I do one waffle at a time. I tried doing the bottoms of both, putting the ham and cheese on both, and then pouring the top layer of batter, and the waffle cooks too fast. So I do one at a time as quickly as I can and then close the lid. And it takes about 4 minutes. And even I've done it several times, I'm still getting runoff that drips down the side. So we'll be able to see how easy that comes off as well. So we'll be back when the waffle iron is ready. It usually takes about 5 minutes for it to warm up. I'm going to be working off to the side here. The waffle iron is ready, but I wanted to show you that I have my ham slices. This is just deli ham, and my cheese ready to go. You want to have everything all ready to go before you start. So here's my 4th cup measurement, and then Jim is going to come close when I start on this. So here's the inside of my waffle maker. And I'm just going to pour this so that it gets all around, and I'm going to do this quickly. And then I'm going to lay down 1 piece of cheese, 1 piece of ham, 1 piece of cheese, the top, and that's good enough. And then we'll get the other side going. And you think that it's not going to cover, but it does. Cheese, ham, cheese, top, and we're probably going to have some leaking, and close. And then it's going to sense and tell us how much time, which is 4 minutes. So we will be back in 4 minutes when it's time to take this waffle out. All right, we're just about to go. We have 2 seconds, and there we go. And here is our waffle, and we did not get any overflow. Little cheese right there. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this waffle out. We always want to pull waffles out onto a rack and not onto a plate. Okay, now, if you have a regular waffle iron, you're going to want to close it, let it heat up again, but mine says it's ready to cook. So I can just go ahead with the next batch. So again, 1 side at a time, complete, before I close. Oh gosh, I wasn't thinking there. Okay, so cheese, ham, cheese, top. And then the other side. Cheese, ham, cheese, and top, and close.
Okay, what do you do?
Well, it's not sensing how long, so I'll just time it for 4 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
Siri just buzzed us, and so this is ready. Oh, they're so gorgeous. I can't believe it, nothing is spilling over. That's a first. Well, a second now. Okay, the reason that we pull these out here is so that the steam, if you put them on a flat surface, the steam is going to make the bottoms soggy. This recipe and this waffle iron make beautifully crisp waffles. Now, I messed up the electronics when I closed it before, so I'm just going to turn this off, and then I'm going to turn it back on again. And now it's ready to cook, so it should reconfigure the electronics. So I'm going to continue with this, and we'll come back when everything is all ready. Okay, here's our last waffle. It was only a half. And you can see that we did get some overflow. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Move this over to the tray. And there's the overflow here. So it's just a quick wipe, and it just comes right off. Isn't that just fantastic? And then there's some underneath. I won't be able to get that until it cools. And then I just wipe it out with a paper towel, and I'm done. I've had nothing stick on the inside, and that's the ceramic rather than just the regular Teflon, whatever else they do. So we are done with our project. I kind of got over exuberant on this one, but I have enough for 4 doubles, and I have the bags right here. As soon as they are completely cool, I will bag them up and put them in the freezer. But I thought you might like to see what's on the inside. So here's what it looks like, just a thin little layer of ham with the cheese all melted on every side. And then with that, I'm just going to take one little bite. The ham really comes through. And I can taste the cheese. The cheese has melted into the batter. It's really nice. So we've got protein in there with the bread, just like a sandwich. These will be wonderful for us to take with us. On Blue, we have an ice chest that we take with us, and so they can stay in the ice chest until lunchtime. And then we can just have them. They're fine cold. This one was cold. And then we can also, if we wish, take them with us on car trips and use our little car oven to heat them up if we want them hot. And so there are lots and lots of variations on this. One of the things that you could also do, instead of doing the cheese and the ham in those slab pieces, you could grate the cheese and dice the ham and just mix it right in with the batter. And so it wouldn't be a layer, but rather it would be infused throughout all of the batter. So this is really fun to experiment with, and I think that we will be using these a lot. So a fun thing, and easy to do, and fairly nutritious, and so good food for the trail. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you out there soon on the trail.